Hi everyone, I welcome you all to my YouTube channel. Thank you for coming to my eco-friendly Ganesha demonstration. Many of you know that I have been giving art and craft demonstrations for 15 years on various television shows like AVM Mangair Choice on Sun TV, AVM's Mangair Ulagam on Kalinga TV, as well as Brush Shaded Paint and a program on Mada TV. I finally found the time to set up my official YouTube channel, and I will henceforth be publishing my old art shows as well as new content regularly here. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to like and share my videos as well as click on the bell icon for instant notification. I also welcome your comments as well as requests for any art or craft demonstrations that you want to do here. Let's get on to today's show. Vinayagar or Ganesh Chaturthi is one of India's popular and significant Hindu festivals celebrated throughout India with great passion and devotion. The day is celebrated as the birthday of popular Hindu god Lord Ganesha, the god of prosperity, wisdom and good luck, is a son of goddess Parvati and Lord Shiva. As a part of various religious customs, people bring in decorated idols of Lord Ganesha to their homes and do worship for 10 days. On the final day of the festival, the idols of Lord Ganesha are taken out in a colorful and musical march and immersed customarily in water. There are many ways to create an eco-friendly Ganesha for Vinayagar Chaturthi. Creating a Ganesha using earthen clay is the most common way, but there are also other ways and methods to create them. Today, I'm going to demonstrate 3 types of eco-friendly Ganeshas for you. The 3 types are Leaves and Flowers Ganesha, Navadhanyam Ganesha, Sandalwood, Turmeric, Kungumam and Viboothi Ganesha. Now let's see how to make a Ganesha using natural flowers and leaves. To create an eco-friendly Ganesha, you will need the following materials: a packing carton, a piece of color construction paper, any color of your choice. I have taken some money plant leaves. You can choose any leaf of your choice of different sizes and shapes, some flowers to decorate, tack kit, scissors, a black permanent marker and a glue stick. Now let's learn how to create our very own eco-friendly Ganesha. As a first step, we are going to take our packing carton material. This you can take out from any packing carton, and you're going to apply some glue to it and you're going to stick the construction paper to it. You can either use liquid glue or stick glue for sticking this. So I'm going to use stick glue because it is easily available. So just apply the stick glue to the entire packing carton like how I'm doing now and keep it ready. After applying the glue to the entire cardboard, you can start sticking your color construction paper. There are many colors in the market, so you can choose any color of your choice. I have taken blue because it will be a contrast for my flowers and leaves. So you can decide your own color for your background. So like this, we will stick it on the carton and we will align it to the edges and press it down firmly to make it stick to the background. Leave this to dry for a few minutes. And we will start assembling the leaves on this base. As a next step, we are going to take all our leaves that we have gathered from the garden. You can choose any type of leaf for this activity, like hibiscus leaves, any kind of a leaf like croton leaves. I have taken now money plant leaves for this activity because I like the way there are many hues of green in it, so it looks nice and shaded. So we are going to use a scissors and we are going to trim off the stem part of those leaves carefully like how I'm doing now. So like this, we will trim all the leaves and we will keep them ready. Now that we have finished trimming all the stem part of the leaves, we can start cleaning them. You could actually wash them under tap water or in a tub of water, and then you can wipe it nicely with a soft cloth like how I'm doing now, so that it doesn't have any water residue on the leaves. So like this, you can clean all the leaves and we can keep it ready to start assembling on our base. The base, what we have now is a cardboard base and it's paper, so it's easy to mount it on it. Now let's practice how we are going to arrange this. So we're just going to leave our leaf in the center, the big leaf there for the tummy part of the Ganesha, and then the legs are going to go like this. So we are just roughly arranging to see if the composition is coming out well. The head part will go there like that. The hands will go here like this. So we just roughly arrange it before we start sticking it with tacket. Like this, we'll make a rough arrangement and we'll practice it out like this. So after we have seen the composition, we can start arranging the leaves to the base. So you can use the tacket. Tacket is easily available in any stationery shop. So all you need to do is to take some small balls of this tacket and start putting it behind your leaf like this. On the back side, on the center vein, you can just put one there on top and one at the bottom like this. So once when you have done it like this, it's easy to stick it to your paper. So just hold it on and press it the way how I'm doing, carefully pushing it down like this. So this will get stuck to the base like this temporarily. So like this, we can start arranging all the tacket to our leaves and we can keep them ready. Now that we have the tummy in place, we can start assembling the legs. So the legs will be our next step to assemble to our Ganesha. I've already put tacket to the back of the leaves. So you can have to just slide it this way, position your leaf carefully and press it on the tacket like that so that it gets stuck to the base like this. This tacket is a temporary adhesive, so you won't have to worry whether you'll be polluting the atmosphere with this adhesive. It's a temporary one. So it's just like a bubble gum, it works like that. So this way we have now arranged the legs for the Ganesha. The next step is we are going to add his hands. To do his hands, same way I put tacket on the leaf and then we are just going to slide it underneath the tummy part and the leg, and we're just going to place it like that and press it down like this. Same way, let's do the other hand and keep it ready. Now that we have finished arranging the hands, now we can start arranging the head part. To do the head part, we are taking this big leaf which is going in the shape of the Ganesha's trunk. So we're just going to put the adhesive on the back side and then just have to place it in a position slightly facing towards this hand where you're going to have the sweet. So just going to place it like that and press it down firmly like that. So that gets the head in place. And now we will be arranging the ears of the Ganesha. To arrange the ears, we just have to slide it underneath the head like that and press it down like that. The same way, the other ear can also be arranged in the same way. Press it down like that. Now that we have the basic shape of our Ganesha, let's see how we can further decorate him and make him look more beautiful. As the next step, we can start decorating our leaf Ganesha using some flowers. Shoe flower is the best flower for this. So I've just taken some shoe flower and I'm just pushing it in between my leaf gap so that it gets placed there on top and it will look as if it's the crown of our Ganesha. Same way, we can also take this yellow flower and we can put it on his left hand so that it will look as if the sweet is there on his left hand. We can also go a step further and we can use some paints to decorate his eyes, and we can add a bindi and have the Om or the swastik sign on the other hand. As a next step, you can take some watercolors or poster colors and you can draw a swastik sign or a Om sign to show the blessing that we get from the Ganesha's hand. So I'm drawing now a swastik sign here. In the same way, you can also use a red paint to have a Om like that on the head, and you can make some patterns to decorate his trunk. So like this we will get it ready. Next we will use white paint to add the sacred thread around his tummy like this. I am using all poster colors and watercolors for this so that we don't have toxic paints to do this activity. It's really an eco-friendly project. Let's leave this to dry before we start painting the eyes. To draw the eyes, you can even use black paint or even a marker pen. So I'm using now a black permanent marker to create the eyebrows and then the eyes. The same way, let's draw the other eye and keep it ready. As the next step, we will add the white paint on his forehead for the tilak. This has to be left to dry for a while before we add some turmeric and kungumam to it. So let's leave it to dry and then we'll add the kungumam to it. Using the back side of the brush, apply some yellow like how I'm doing now. Leave this for a while to dry and then add some red to it. When the yellow is dry, you can add a red dot for the tilak and we will leave this to dry. Now that our eco-friendly leaf Ganesha is ready, you can use it for your Ganesh Chaturthi puja. If you notice, we have completed our leaves and flowers Ganesha. We have used natural materials and they are biodegradable. Next, I'm going to be showing you a demonstration of an eco-friendly Ganesha using Navadhanyam. Navadhanyam means 9 types of grains, which includes Bengal gram, wheat, horse gram, green gram, rice, white beans, black sesame seeds, chickpeas, black gram, etc. These are easily available at home as these are common cooking items. Let's see how we can create a Ganesha using these grains. To create an eco-friendly Ganesha using 9 types of grains, that is Navadhanyam, you will need the following materials: a bowl for mixing, a spoon, coconut oil, a Ganesha mold like a push mold, Arabic gum, a brush to use to apply the oil for greasing, and the Navadhanyam. The Navadhanyam that we have here is urud dal, moong dal, horse gram, wheat, paddy, cowpeas, black chana or chickpeas, mochai, and black sesame, and a plastic cover. Now let's learn how to create our very own Navadhanyam Ganesha. In a small bowl, you will start adding the following grams. I am first adding now urud dal, Then I'm adding some moong dal. Then I'm adding some horse gram. Same way I'm adding some wheat. Adding some cowpeas. Adding some paddy. And then I'm adding some black chana, mochai, and black sesame. So we'll add everything in a bowl and mix it nicely and keep it ready. Now, once when you make this mixture, you will not add the Arabic gum now. You will first test it out on your mold to see the quantity, the volume that it takes. So let's first fill it to our mold to test out how much of grains we are going to consume in that mold. So I've just added a little, but I can still add more. So based on that, you can balance it up and you can add some more grains and you can keep it till the brim of your mold and keep it ready. After testing out the volume of our mold, after getting all the Navadhanyam in our bowl, we will start greasing our mold. The purpose of greasing our mold will be like a release agent when we pull out the mold at the end when your mold is dry. So we'll just use some coconut oil to grease our mold like this. Using a flat brush or a round brush, just grease your mold like the way how I'm doing now and we'll keep it ready. After greasing our mold, when it's getting set like this, we will start mixing the Arabic gum to this mixture. Arabic gum is a gum which is taken from the sap of trees. So this you get it as a crystal form. You can get it in any Tamil medicine shop, and this gum can be soaked in hot water. They come as crystals, they can be soaked in hot water to get a gum like this. This is non-toxic, so we won't be polluting the atmosphere when we dissolve the Ganesha after 3 days in water or anywhere. So we'll just add this Arabic gum to our Navadhanyam mixture. And we will mix it up nicely to get a lump consistency. Make sure all the grains are coated with this glue, the Arabic gum, so that it gets nicely stuck to the mold. So let's mix it nicely and leave it to be soaked for a few minutes, and then we can start stuffing our mold. As a next step, our Navadhanyam, the 9-grain mixture is ready, coated with Arabic gum. So we can start filling in our mold. Using a spoon or a spatula, you can just take the required quantity like this and start stuffing to your mold. As you do this, push it in nicely into the nooks and corners of your mold so that it takes the shape, because you see these big beans and all over there might go and sit in a wrong place if you don't push it properly. So make sure that you push it in like how I'm doing with my spoon to the nooks and corners to initially take a initial covering, and then you can stuff it up in detail. So like this, let's start filling our mold, and we leave it to set for at least 8 to 10 hours and we leave it to dry. Now that we have finished stuffing the 9 grains, the Navadhanyam, into our Ganesha mold, we can start leveling it. You can use a spoon or a spatula or even a plastic sheet to level it, like how I'm doing. You can take a plastic sheet, lay it on the mold like this, and use your finger, your palm, to press it down like this. Make sure you press it carefully without hurting the mold so that the shape doesn't change. Use your thumb to press into the nooks and corners like how I'm doing. This way the gum will not stick to your hands and it won't be messy for you to handle the 9 grains. So like this, we'll press it down firmly and we'll take the shape and we'll level it and we leave it to dry for 8 to 10 hours. You can even leave a day to dry, depends according to the humidity of the climate. So let's leave it to dry for 8 hours without disturbing it, and then we will see how the output comes. I nicely pressed it down and left it to dry for almost like 8 to 10 hours. After 10 hours of drying, you can start releasing your mold. Since you have already applied coconut oil as the releasing agent for a mold, it will be easy to pull out your Navadhanyam Ganesha from your mold. So let's flip it over and carefully tap it to release the mold, and just like carefully pull it out. You will get your Navadhanyam Ganesha in an abstract form like this. This can be mounted on a base and decorated with flowers and be used for your Ganesh Puja. Now that our dried Navadhanyam Ganesha, the 9-grain Ganesha which we molded out, is totally dry, and I have mounted it on a wooden base with some tackets stuck to it, and this can be placed on the decorated base that we have it ready for the puja, and we can further decorate it with flowers, add some lamps or decorations and columns, and we can celebrate our Ganesh Chaturthi in an eco-friendly way like this. The abstract Navadhanyam Ganesha was a real eco-friendly project. When we do immersion of such statues in the sea or pond, we not only do this in an eco-friendly way, but at the same time, these grains would be a food for the water creatures like fishes. Finally, I am going to demonstrate an eco-friendly Ganesha using sandalwood, turmeric, Kungumam and Viboothi. We generally use these for puja, but we are going to create a Ganesha out of these for the festival. So let's watch it now. To create an eco-friendly Ganesha using sandalwood, turmeric and Kungumam and Viboothi, you will need the following things. You need a bowl for mixing, a spoon, some Ziploc covers. I've taken some sandalwood powder, turmeric powder, Kungumam powder and some ash. This is maida flour and this is corn flour, some poster paints, clear glue which is non-toxic. Same way we need some coconut oil, vinegar and a cup of water. We will also need some impression tools like an empty ballpoint pen or a refill, a pen knife cutter and some brushes. Now let's learn how to create our very own eco-friendly Ganesha using sandalwood, turmeric and Kungumam and Viboothi. In a small bowl, we'll add the following things. We'll add a cup of maida, a cup of corn flour, same ratio 1:1. And to this mixture, we will add some coconut oil, some vinegar and some water. You're going to mix this together to make a lump consistency like chapati dough. You're just going to mix it and get it ready. So let's add little by little water to get the lump consistency, just like any dough. If you notice, I have got my dough ready. This is done with the corn flour, maida, and we have added some coconut oil, vinegar and water. So we have just used this mixture and we have made our dough ready. Now this is going to be our base dough to which we are going to add the colors. We are going to add sandalwood powder to it for one part of our dough, and for the other part we are going to add some turmeric powder to it. For the other part we are just going to add some Kungumam powder and then some Viboothi, which is ash, which is given in temples. So we will be using these four things to add it to our dough, but we'll add them in small parts. So let me show you first how to add them. Before that, we have to make our dough softer by kneading it like this, and we will be dividing the dough into parts. Like for example, we are going to use the turmeric for making the jewelry, so we'll add this much for that. And same way, we are going to use the Kungumam to create some details of the dhoti of our Ganesha. So we're just going to add this much with our Kungumam. Same way, we are going to add the details on the Ganesha like his Angostram and all those things with the Viboothi. So we're just going to add this much of clay for that. The remaining clay, which is going to be done fully with sandalwood. So we will be dividing our clay like this, and then we'll be mixing them with these color powders, sandalwood, turmeric, Kungumam and Viboothi. So let's learn how to do the mixing now. As a next step, we're going to start mixing one color at a time to each of our balls, which we already separated and kept. So I'm just starting with my Kungumam ball. So for the Kungumam, I'm just going to take my ball of clay, and then I'm going to add my Kungumam powder to my bowl. Just add little by little, don't add too much. Just add it and see if you're happy with the coloring, then you can always go back and forth. Add little water to it and a few drops of coconut oil. Now this mixture is going to be made to a thicker paste like how I'm doing now. And this thick paste is going to be mixed with our dough to make it into a colored dough. So we're just going to thoroughly mix it and turn our white clay into red Kungumam clay. So let's thoroughly mix it to get a super red color, like a burgundy color. Maroonish color is what you're getting now. So let's knead it. It should not be marbled like this. It should be thoroughly mixed and full clay should turn red for us. So till we get it fully red like this, we will keep on kneading it and we'll be doing. In the same way, we will mix the other colors also with them, with our dough. Like we'll be adding turmeric, we'll be adding sandalwood and Viboothi, the ash, to it, so that we'll get 4 different color clays and we'll keep it ready. If you notice, I have completed mixing all the colors to our dough which we made. This is done with sandalwood, this is with ash or Viboothi, and this is with turmeric, and this is with Kungumam. So once when our dough is ready like this, we have to save this into a Ziploc cover because it will dry very fast. So take your dough which you created and save them into individual Ziploc covers like how I'm doing, and keep them aside to be soaked overnight so that you can use it next day. Like this, you need to pack it up tight and seal the Ziploc cover like that and leave it to be soaked overnight. The next day, you are ready to work with your dough. Now that our clay is all soaked and kept ready overnight, it's now ready for you to start working. Our clay has to be taken only in parts and should be done with our work, because if you take the whole clay out of your packet, it will dry very fast. So make sure you save them into a Ziploc cover and you work in little quantities like this. So as a first step, you will take some clay. This is now I'm taking the clay mixture which I've done with the sandalwood. We are using natural coloring agents to color our clay so that we don't create toxins, so that we don't pollute the atmosphere. So we're just going to make a ball for the base, and we're just going to flatten it like that, and we're just going to keep it on this base. So just use a little bit of coconut oil and grease your surface, the plate where you're working. You can even use a plastic sheet or a cling film to cover the work surface. Leave the oval shape on this base and start flattening it with your finger and your palm to an oval slab like this. This is going to be our base where we are going to make the Ganesha sit on it. So nicely flatten it without any cracks. If your clay is nicely soaked overnight, you won't get much of cracks. So like this, you will flatten it. Once when your base is ready like this, you can start sculpting the other details of the Ganesha. Now for various parts, you can use various colors. You don't have to do everything with a sandalwood base. It's totally your choice in deciding which color you want to go where. So for this is the base, and then on the base I can use now turmeric to create a border. And taking this again, we need to soften every time with a little bit of oil. Coconut oil is best for this, or you can even use cooking oil. So I'm just softening my clay, which I've done with turmeric. We'll make a coil, a rope out of it. Let's make a long string. And just roughly measure it and see with our base. The excess can always be removed. So this is going to be the way the base is going to be ready now. You can use a cutter or a refill. Anything can be used to make impressions like this. You can make some nice detailed designs. You can also use a ballpoint pen to add some designs to it. So like this, let's do everywhere and get it ready. As the next step, after creating some impressions on the turmeric base here, we are going to start with the pillow for the Ganesha. So I'm just doing a pillow like this with Viboothi in an oval shape. The Viboothi mixture is taken. I'm just shaping it like that. And as I shape this, I'm just going to use my cutter to create some impressions on it like that. You can also use a toothpick for this effect. So let's create some impressions like this, and then we will use the Kungumam mixture to make some decorations on it. I'm taking a small pinch of Kungumam clay, and then I'm going to put it there, press it with my thumb like that, and use your ballpoint pen to create an impression and a decoration like that. So this way you can add a lot of details and you can get ready with the pillow. Same way we will do the Ganesha after this. Now that our base and the pillow is ready, we can start making our Ganesha. To make a Ganesha, you should always start with the tummy part. To start with the tummy part, we are just taking some sandalwood clay, making a small ball out of it. I'm just taking a small lemon size, which I'll be putting it in the center like that to get the basic body shape. So this is going to be the body shape of the Ganesha. Same way, we can take another pinch of sandalwood clay and we'll make his shoulders. We'll add his shoulders like that. You can show his belly button. Once when the base is ready like this, we can start adding his legs. To add his legs, I'm going to use the Kungumam powder because I'm just going to give him a red dhoti. So to make his dhoti, we're just going to take equal parts of the Kungumam clay like this. and we'll make a drop shape to place it there to do his legs. As you do the legs, also create an impression with your cutter, like how I'm doing, to get the lines on the dhoti. In the same way, we will add the other side, the other leg too. If your clay breaks, just add a drop of oil to it and start kneading it, and it will soften the clay and you won't get cracks. So let's make the other leg now the same way, like this. We'll place it and we'll make it sit like that. Again, you should add details with the cutter or a toothpick to create the grooves on the dhoti. So let's get this done, and now we will add the legs of the Ganesha. For this, I'm going to use sandalwood again. We can mix it nicely and you can make the small leg for him. You can use the cutter again to create the impressions of his finger, and you can add the details like that to him. The same way, we can add one by one. We can make the hands, we can make the head. The same method we will follow. So let's get our parts ready. As the next step, we're going to start creating the hands of our Ganesha. To make the hands, you need to take equal size of pellets of clay. So I'm just taking now the sandalwood clay. I'm just softening it with little oil, and look at the size that I've taken. It's approximately a marble size is what I've taken. So equal size you need to take like this. Once when your parts are ready, you just have to roll them to a rod shape without any cracks, like how I'm doing, like this. Same way we will roll the other one too, so that you get them in equal sizes like that. Once when you get it like this, one hand can be pressed like that and the other hand can be pressed like this, so that you can start deciding which you want to keep it for left and right. Now if it's going to be the left hand, you need to bring it down like that from his shoulders, and you need to show the hand like this for the sweet to be having in this hand. And then for the other hand, you need to show the pose like that. So his blessings, the hand that is for the blessing, the right hand. So it will go like that. You can use your toothpick or ballpoint pen or refill to create some impressions on the fingers like that. Same way with this hand too. Once when you are done with these steps, we will insert a toothpick to the body like that, so that it will act as a skeleton to put our head. So let's get it ready. As a next step, before we do the head, the most important thing is you should finish all his ornaments. To do his ornaments, I am taking turmeric now. So take a small piece of turmeric clay and just roll it to a rope like how I am doing with my finger. Once when you get the rope like this, you can take this and you can add it to his shoulders like that, and you can use a ballpoint pen or a cutter or a toothpick or any carving tool to create some impressions on his ornaments like how I'm doing now. So when you press, this will automatically go and sit and take the shape. So you don't have to put any glue or anything, because it's already got maida and corn flour, which has got a lot of binding properties. If you want, you can add a little bit of clear glue. It's totally optional. So let's now make a pendant. So just take a small piece of clay, just put it over there on the chain there, and then use a ballpoint pen to create an impression like that for the pendant. So this way you can add a lot of ornaments to your Ganesha before we go for the head and keep it ready. As a next step, we will also add his satin towel, the angostram. For the angostram, I am taken now some white Viboothi clay. which I'm going to flatten it like that. And then we will use a toothpick to create some lines on the angostram like that. And you can also use some turmeric to give the golden zari effect. Just soften your turmeric with little oil. If you get cracks, always soften it with a little oil. And then this can be added as a zari border for the angostram. Flatten it nicely. And then use a toothpick to make some impressions and patterns on it like that. So this way you will be able to get the angostram ready. Now this thing can be taken and we will be adding it to the Ganesha like that. And you can use your toothpick to push it in to take the shape. So this way we will add the other angostram on the other side and we'll keep it ready. Now that we have done all the parts of the Ganesha, the last thing is going to be the head of the Ganesha. To make the head of the Ganesha, you will need a amla size clay, like how I've taken now. This much size is good enough for this proportionately. So I'm just taking this clay and I'm going to roll it to a drop shape like that, like a drop. Okay. So when you roll it to a drop, let's make an elongated carrot shape like that, and then you will start shaping the tongue part of the Ganesha like that to bend it down. Now this is going to be placed into this toothpick like that and carefully bend it towards the sweet there. So this way we will set it up and we'll get it ready. Now that we have finished shaping the head part, we'll add some ears to it. So we'll take the 2 ears. We have to add 2 equal size balls to make the ears with sandalwood. So I'm just taking 2 equal size balls. So just have to flatten those balls like that and then use a toothpick to create some lines like that. And this will be taken and we will be fixing it here as the ears of our Ganesha. The same way we will attach the other ear too, like this. Now our Ganesha is almost ready. We have to just add the crown for him. So for that we will use turmeric and we will make the crown for him. Now as a next step, we are going to add the crown of our Ganesha. For that I am taking the turmeric dough with me. So I am just mixing it, I am softening it with little coconut oil now and then so that I don't get cracks while working. So nicely soften this dough and keep it ready to make the crown. To make the crown you need a small pellet, approximately a marble size would be good enough. So for that we're just going to take them to a conical shape, like a drop shape like that, and then we're just going to take it and put it on top of his head like that. As you put it on the head, you can start shaping it to a crown like that. Now that you got a crown shape, you can start creating some impressions using your ballpoint pen or refill or the cutter or a toothpick to add some designs to it. So like this, you can make maybe like a dot like that, like a ruby, like that with impressions. You can use toothpicks to make some patterns. So it's totally your creativity in designing your designs. You can use a vegetable carving tool. So a lot of designs can be added to the turmeric dough, like how I'm doing now, and you can create some nice interesting patterns. Same way you can also add ornaments wherever you need, and you can get your Ganesha ready to draw the eyes with paints. As a next step, we can start adding details to our Ganesha, like adding a swastik sign, same way the Kungumam on the top of his head, the Turmeric and all those things, his eyes, all those details can be added with paints to complete him. So do that. I'm just going to use poster paints because poster paints are non-toxic and they are easy to use and they are nature friendly. So let's take some white poster paint in our palette. I'm just going to add the details like that on the Ganesha, like that. Every step has to dry, so please be patient when you apply your paints. Leave it to dry for a while and then you're ready to work on with the next color. As this is getting dry, we can take some red and we will add the swastik sign or the decorations on his trunk. All this can be added with your red paint. So like this, we will add gradually all the details and we'll get it ready. I've finished adding most of the details. The eyes are done. So now I'm going to add the sindoor. I'm just going to add some yellow paint for the sandal effect, and then we will add some red for the tilak. And this has to be left to dry for a while. This Ganesha is made totally using maida, corn flour, sandalwood, turmeric, Kungumam and Viboothi or ash. So this has to be left to dry for at least 8 to 10 hours before you use it for your Ganesh Chaturthi. Now our sandal, Viboothi, Kungumam, turmeric used Ganesha is fully done. This Ganesha is totally eco-friendly Ganesha and it's now totally dry. After 8-10 hours, it's ready for your Ganesh Chaturthi puja. You can decorate him on a special mandapam and you can adore flowers and you can decorate him. The Ganesha made out of sandalwood, turmeric, Kungumam and Viboothi is indeed a great idea to try for an eco-friendly project. The contents are biodegradable and are not harmful to our surroundings. I do hope that you all enjoyed the 3 methods that I've showed you today. If you know any more types of eco-friendly ways, then feel free to comment here with your creative thoughts and ideas. Let's celebrate this Ganesh Chaturthi in an eco-friendly way. Wish you all a very happy Vinayagar Chaturthi. If you enjoyed all my videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to like and share my videos, as well as click on the bell icon for instant notification. Until next time, this is Joseph Pramod signing off.